Well, hello and thank you for joining us today in Oslo for our third Nissan Futures event. We're here today at Dugar, home to the Norwegian Design Council. But this building actually started life as an electric power station, powering thousands of homes and offices and schools across Norway. And it's fitting, because today is all about the next generation of energy and mobility. And we're especially delighted to be in Oslo, as it's a city that's dedicated to tackling future issues head-on. We're also very lucky to have Oslo's governing mayor with us today, Mrs. Marianne Borgen, who sat here on the front row. I look forward personally to hearing more about the city's initiatives throughout the afternoon. In addition to the 300 VIPs we have here in the room today, we're also broadcasting this live to our 15,000 employees in Nissan Europe, because this is a very important day for us. The day that we share our vision for the future. To share with you how we are going to be putting that vision on the road in just a few short months. And how we're going beyond the car, looking at how we plug in and impact on the world around us. At Nissan, the journey has already started. At both the first and second Nissan Futures, we unveiled new energy solutions to benefit not just EV drivers, but the world around us. Smart, connected, and affordable. The first was the Nissan X Storage partnership with Eaton, which allows people and businesses to store and use energy with recycled and repurposed Nissan Leaf batteries. I'm really proud to announce that we've now sold more than 1,000 X Storage units to home customers, and we're on track to sell 5,000 before the end of March 2018. And a massive 100,000 units targeted by the end of 2020. At our second Nissan Futures event, we announced that Nissan Leaf batteries will power the Amsterdam Arena, which is the stadium to Ajax Football Club and home to gigs for global superstars such as Beyoncé, Madonna and U2. These used Nissan batteries will replace the diesel generators as a backup power for the arena. But beyond that, the scheme will allow the Amsterdam region to use the energy from our batteries to stabilise the grid during peak demand. Now the work is on track, and we look forward to inviting you to the opening ceremony next year. And today, we'll be sharing the next stages in the electric ecosystem that we're building for the future of Nissan Intelligent Mobility. We'll unveil the most advanced car we've ever built, outline plans to grow the infrastructure, and share with you the future of battery technology. And also discuss how we will make the power itself smarter, more accessible and sustainable. Now, standing here on the stage today, it reminds me of the first time I ever stood up to share our vision of electric vehicles. This was 8 years ago, and I was speaking to the media about our investment in electric. Many people thought we were crazy, saying we were bringing unproven technology to our customers, wasting our shareholders' money, and some even questioning whether electrification was even necessary. Well, we have a very different picture here today. 8 years ago, we launched the world's first mass-market electric vehicle, the Nissan Leaf. And it's gone on to become the best-selling electric vehicle of all time. Now it's clear the world is changing. Consumer attitudes and needs are transforming. Our industry is evolving and new challenges are emerging. It's simply an incredible time to be in the automotive industry. Now, we've been front and centre of societal change, aspiration and industrial progression. Well, I open up the papers every day at the moment and I read about yet another company supposedly going electric and making massive U-turns on their business plan. First it was Volkswagen, then Volvo, now it's Dyson. And you know things are getting a little bit strange when a vacuum cleaner industry is getting involved in automotive. Regardless of all of this, we say welcome to the party. Once they wrote us off, but now they're all signing up. But you have to ask yourself, what is happening? What triggered this thinking to move from 100 years of combustion engines to suddenly going all electric? Is that a firm belief in an electric future? Or is it a reaction to a reputational crisis? A 180-degree turn to solve a missed opportunity? A nothing-to-lose plan that has been forced upon companies who feel that they have to make this move rather than want to? Well, let's be absolutely clear. We want to. We are serious. We're not taking knee-jerk decisions or blowing hot air. We're doing it, and we've been doing it for years. And we're ahead of the rest of the industry by at least a decade. And we've begun already moving beyond the electric car. All of this means that the next decade looks very different to the last 10 years for our industry and our customers. It will be a decade of disruption for our industry unlike any other. A decade when those who embrace the challenge of change will be the ones who come out winning. Now, 10 years from now, we predict that over 30% of the cars sold in Europe across our industry will be electric in some form. Now, I personally believe that's a very conservative estimate. And if you consider that the current market for electric vehicles is 1% of the total market, well, you can do the maths for yourselves. We call it the acceleration of electrification. And we believe we'll see the same adoption rates that were seen 100 years ago in the early 1900s when the combustion engine car went from gimmick to absolute necessity. But it does mean we have to start rethinking pretty much everything we know about driving, commuting, and powering our world. It's a seismic shift, a giant leap forward that will be pinpointed by historians in years to come as a key moment when things advanced in a new way and reshaped the way we lived. Like the moment Tim Berners-Lee first unveiled the blueprint for the World Wide Web, or when Apple released its first digital music player. Like both of these seminal moments, it have a profound impact, not just on our industry, but many others too. The auto industry ripples will turn into multi-industry waves. Now at Nissan, we're known for the Leaf, the world's best-selling electric vehicle. This car was born out of a $5 billion investment made by the Renault-Nissan Alliance, a massive bet on the electric future. But our journey to electrification began many years before that, in 1947 with the Tama. Even back then, in 1947, the Tama was a perfect example of using electric vehicles to overcome a problem. It was developed to keep Japanese motorists moving when oil was in short supply after the Second World War. Today, we remain just as committed to using electric vehicles to solve the world's challenges, not just on the roads, but all around us. These vehicles are part of the real concrete steps in achieving our vision of a fully electric future, something you'll hear a lot more about later on. But crucially, we're looking way beyond the car itself, to consider the fuel stations of the future, the charging technologies, the connections between vehicles and their surroundings, and even the source of energy itself. It's an approach we call Nissan Intelligent Mobility, and at its heart there are three key areas of innovation. Intelligent power is about looking beyond traditional combustion engines to an alternative fuel future, making driving more clean, efficient and exciting for our customers. Intelligent driving focuses on autonomous vehicles and advanced driving systems, transforming how we all drive for the better, making the drive more confident and liberating. And finally, intelligent integration is about how our products work with the world around them, connecting our products and services for the benefit of wider society. For us, the benefits are clear and necessary if we're going to create a cleaner, safer world for the generations to come. Now, we can improve safety on our roads by helping drivers to see, think and react faster. We can improve the driving experience by offering increased control and better comfort. And we can improve the quality of life by helping people live smarter, better connected lives. Now, I mentioned earlier about our location for our event here in Oslo. Oslo is a city that shares our vision for the future. As Europe's chosen green capital for 2019, it's already doing great things to tackle some of the world's most pressing environmental issues, including biodiversity, waste management, noise, and of course, air pollution. As a country, Norway is among the most progressive markets in the world when it comes to the adoption of electric vehicles, even ahead of locations like California. So far in 2017, electric vehicles make up more than a quarter of newly registered passenger cars here in Norway, giving the country the highest percentage of electric vehicles in the world per person. For Nissan this month, that figure has topped 50%. That means 1 in every 2 vehicles sold here by Nissan in Norway is an electric vehicle. This country is progressive, proactive and passionate about the big issues facing future generations. And perhaps most significantly, the Norwegian government was one of the first to offer electric vehicle drivers clear motivation and benefits to move away from fossil to carbon-free. Things like free city centre parking, access to bus lanes, and critically removing tax for electric vehicles. More recently this year, Norway opened up the world's largest fast charging station, which can charge 28 vehicles at one time within 30 minutes. Now, many governments across Europe should sit up and take notice. The time is to act now, to give people a reason to go electric. Now, we have already invested $5 billion as a business to make this happen. Now we believe it's time for governments across Europe to help consumers and businesses make the right choice. They need to think smart when it comes to these problems. For example, whilst great headway has been made in some cities to curb pollution and penalise high polluting cars, little has been done to solve what is surely a root cause of the problem. Not consumer drivers, but businesses. Now let's look at some facts. Now we all know that the amount of traffic in our towns and cities is growing. In fact, compared to the turn of the century, in my home country of the UK, there are almost 10% more vehicles on the roads. But if you dig into the data, it shows some interesting statistics. There are roughly 4% more cars on the British roads than there were in the year 2000. But there are 38% more vans, like commercial vehicles. And the reason for that, I believe it's what I would call the Amazon effect, the boom in online shopping. With more people choosing to shop on the internet for groceries, books and gifts, there are more delivery drivers on the road. In fact, over the past 5 years, van traffic in the UK has increased by 12%. That's 3 times more than cars and 4 times the increase in heavy goods vehicles. It means that vans are the fastest growing sector in the automotive industry, and consequently, the area where we can make a huge difference if we're serious about reducing carbon emissions. In our towns and cities, it's not simply the passenger car that needs the electric revolution, it's the van. So while our competitors are continuing to catch up, they're planning in the first electric cars, we're going further and faster with investment in electric van delivery vehicles too. And I'm excited to say today we'll be sharing with you not just our new electric car for consumers, but also a new electric van for business. It goes further than any other, with 100 kilometres more range than ever before, meaning more deliveries can be completed on a single charge. Zero emissions, driving for businesses, zero emissions, deliveries for customers. Your Amazon shop, your groceries, your Christmas presents this year, they can now be delivered from a warehouse to your house with no impact on the environment. Now we've invested in installing a long-range, longer-lasting, better range, further reach battery in all of our electric vehicles. Now we believe all governments need to step up and invest to support. They need to think electric. They need to think smart. To incentivise delivery drivers to go green and make a significant positive impact on our towns and cities. To give businesses no option but to take the sustainable option. 16% of all CO2 vehicle pollution in our cities now comes from vans. Over the next decade, we should plan to eradicate that. And tonight, I'm meeting with politicians, city planners, regional councillors, and sustainability activists to share our plans and our thinking. Within 10 years, we can turn every mile of every delivery taking place in our towns and cities into a green mile. Because the change must come, and it will take more than car companies to make it happen. Industry, businesses, drivers, governments, and city planners need to work together to create smart solutions for smart cities. Now today you're going to hear from us on just that. The plans we have to bring this whole story together, to create new ways of driving and living for the 21st century. So let me hand over to begin to Philippe Sayar, who will share with you the first step in our next generation of the electrification story. Thank you.